Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
A State Line museum is getting in the holiday spirit, how they're educating people on traditions around the world. It's the last day of Rockton's annual Christmas walk. The sold-out hot cocoa crawl is helping to wrap up the weekend. And it's another installment in a decades-old rivalry. Our Scott Leber and Reagan Holgate are live from Soldier Field with coverage of Bears versus Packers. Good evening, I'm Taylor Castro. Thanks for joining us tonight. Taxpayers may be getting smaller tax refunds this year. The IRS says one reason is people didn't receive stimulus payments this tax year. Refunds are based on taxable income calculated by subtracting itemized deductions from gross income. But the good news is standard deductions will be higher to account for inflation. That means the dollar amount taxpayers can hang on to will increase for many. The Biden administration is considering ending the COVID vaccine mandate for members of the military. Republicans in the House say they've reached a bipartisan deal to lift the mandate for the armed forces as part of a defense funding bill. So far, the White House says it's still considering the idea. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he wants to keep the mandate in place to protect the health of the troops. All members of the U.S. military have been required to get the COVID vaccine since August of 2021. It's the end of an era for Secretary of State Jesse White. He made his final public appearance this weekend at a coat giveaway at the community center in Chicago that bears his name. The 88-year-old is Illinois' longest-serving Secretary of State in history. He will retire from the office next month after he decided not to seek re-election. White says even though his political career is about to end, he still plans to make a difference in his community.
Someone asked, am I going to remain in the community? Am I going to go down to the Bahamas or Hawaii or someplace? No, I'm going to stay right here in the neighborhood and continue to do the work that I've done long before I became an elected official.
But White says the thing he's most proud of isn't his time in political office. He believes his greatest accomplishment is the Jesse White Tumblers program, which has helped put thousands of kids through college. A visitation will be held for Glenn Patterson, a former Rockford teacher and leader of the Boys and Girls Club. He died earlier this week. The visitation will be held at Forest City Church on South Alpine Road on Monday from 4 to 7 p.m. and on Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Patterson served as director of the Blackhawk Boys and Girls Club for 2 years after retiring from teaching. Patterson leaves behind his wife of 48 years, Mary, and 4 kids. He was 67 years old. Mixed emotions are expected at the first Waukesha Christmas Parade since the deadly attack last year. That's when Darrell Brooks drove his SUV through the parade route, killing 6 and injuring dozens. Brooks was sentenced last month to 6 consecutive life terms and hundreds of additional years for the attack. This year, the first float leading the parade will honor those victims. There will be 80 groups marching in the parade, including the Dancing Grannies. This year's theme is Peace on Earth, and the Grand Marshal will be first responders. A local museum is educating people about how the holidays are celebrated around the world. Today, the Ethnic Heritage Museum held their annual Heritage Holidays open house. Their cultural Christmas galleries feature a variety of ethnic holiday traditions, from Lithuanian straw ornaments to Kwanzaa and Our Lady of Guadalupe. The vast exhibits are put together by the community.
We're 100% volunteer, which I think makes it even more special that as a volunteer organization, we're able to do so much and showcase such a variety of things.
To add to the festivities, local musicians performed throughout the day. The annual Rockton Christmas Walk wraps up today in downtown Rockton. All weekend long, there's shopping, lights, and lots of Christmas festivities. The hot cocoa crawl took place this afternoon. The event takes participants to 6 local businesses for some hot chocolate and special activities or coupons specifically for the crawl. Tickets sold out for this event. It's the 38th year of the Rockton Christmas Walk, and it's still bringing the same holiday spirit.
It's been nice to see this continue throughout the different generations and decades, and we enjoy kind of making this into something that unites families. People come in to visit family for this weekend, and hopefully we'll just continue to keep the spirit of the original Rockton Christmas Walk weekend.
The historic Homes for the Holiday tour is going on tonight, and lighted displays will be on throughout the week. It looks like the Barbie core trend will be trickling into next year. Pantone's Color Institute has announced its 2023 Color of the Year, and the winner is Viva Magenta. The company called it an unconventional shade for an unconventional time. They also say the color is full of wit and exuberance that promotes a joyous and optimistic celebration. The current status of Iran's Morality Police is unclear. In a press conference earlier today, Iran's Attorney General said the Morality Police had been abolished. But the Attorney General does not have authority to disband the religious force tasked with arresting people who violate the country's Islamic dress code. Experts believe it could be the regime's attempt to quell the months of anti-government protests. The demonstrations began after the death of a woman in mid-September, 3 days after her arrest by the Morality Police. The fighting in Ukraine is expected to start to slow down in the winter months. The director of U.S. intelligence says both Ukraine and Russia need to prepare and resupply for any counterattacks in the spring. The war in Ukraine is now in its 9th month. U.S. intelligence leaders believe Russian President Vladimir Putin does not have a full picture at this stage of just how challenged his military are, citing ammunition shortages, among other concerns. The White House is touting a new price cap on Russian oil as a way to lower prices and to keep cash away from Vladimir Putin that he could use to fund the war in Ukraine. Elizabeth Schulze has the latest.
After months of negotiations, the U.S., the EU, and members of the G7 have agreed to restrict purchases of Russian oil unless it's sold below $60 a barrel. Currently, oil is priced at about $80 a barrel, though Russia has already been forced to sell lower than that. U.S. officials say the new price cap has two goals.
One is reducing Russia's revenues, but the second one is making sure that we keep Russian barrels on the market in order to make sure that we keep prices low for everyone.
Russia says it will not deliver oil to countries that cap the price, while Ukraine's President Zelensky argues the move doesn't go far enough, adding Russia will still have money to fund its war. But for American consumers, the price of gas has fallen nearly 40 cents in the last month. Now drivers are paying less for gas than they were before Russia's invasion of Ukraine. AAA says the national average is $3.42, and GasBuddy predicts below $3 per gallon prices by Christmas. Another move that could stabilize prices, OPEC+, a group of oil-producing nations led by Saudi Arabia and Russia, meeting today announced that oil producers will not change production targets. In a move seen as a snub of President Biden, the group cut production at its last meeting by 2 million barrels a day starting in November, tightening global supply. The cap on the price of Russian oil, along with the ban on most oil imports from Russia to the EU, go into effect Monday. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
NASA scientists say their Viking 1 craft may have stumbled upon the site of an ancient Martian mega tsunami. The Viking 1 lander made history in July of 1976 when it sent back pictures from the red planet. Now, new research suggests the Viking 1 landed where a massive wave washed up on shore, bringing with it rocks and sediment from far away. The new theory is that giant wave was caused by an asteroid slamming into the surface of Mars, similar to the one that killed off the dinosaurs on Earth some 66 million years ago.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Well, it was a little bit of a warmer afternoon out there today, especially when we compare that to yesterday. When we showed this map yesterday, it was a little bit more of a cooler temperatures, 20s widespread across the area. Now we have a lot of areas that are still in the 40s and 30s, and that southwesterly wind really helping to warm us up, in addition to a lot of the sunshine that we got out there earlier this afternoon. Skies now continuing to clear a little bit more, down to 32 degrees at the moment here in Rockford, 28 over in Galena, 35 down in Sterling. Those clear skies not holding on for much longer as clouds will continue to increase later on here into the evening. Checking in with our weather watcher Jim on the southwest side of Rockford, also reporting a temperature of 35 degrees just a little bit ago, a dew point of 17 degrees. So it hasn't really seen much of a moisture increase, especially compared to when we had yesterday. Clear skies out there, the sun now setting, a very calm wind, what we're seeing mostly out there. SkyTrack camera in Freeport, the Park Hills Golf Course, as we continue to see that. Clouds, though, as I mentioned, increasing into the night tonight. Not a whole lot going on satellite and radar, but we do see some of that cloud cover beginning to work in, especially if we look further off to the west across parts of Iowa. So let's jump right into this. Here we go into Futurecast. Clear skies, at least for the moment. Temperatures not budging a whole lot because of that southwesterly wind. A lot more of that cloud cover working in overnight tonight and into the morning tomorrow. That's where we see a little bit more of the snow chances beginning to work in, but those will remain a little bit further off to the north as we continue to see those here. We might get caught by a stray flurry or two, especially across our southern Wisconsin counties as we get later on into the afternoon, but not really looking at a whole lot widespread there. Clouds continue to thicken up for the next couple of days. 30 degrees officially what we're getting into there for part of the day on Tuesday. Tuesday morning, that's when we see a little bit higher chances for those snow showers, especially further off to the north. Not looking at a whole lot widespread as we get later on to the south, however. We're still looking at a lot more of that cloud cover working in for Tuesday afternoon, and then those rain chances working in as we get later on into the afternoon Tuesday. That's going to be the higher chance we could get caught by a sprinkle or two into the afternoon and evening hours there. Temperatures overnight tonight down to 26 degrees. Not a whole lot different from what we see right now. Still into the 30s. Not dropping a whole lot because of that southwesterly wind and clouds increasing. Tomorrow we do break that 40-degree mark up to 42 degrees. Overcast skies. A little bit warmer conditions expected there as well. We're looking forwards. What we're going to be seeing those temperatures remaining pretty close to average over the next few days. Not a whole lot of big changes in store. A little bit above average as we expect to see average close to 37 degrees. So the polar vortex is what we talk about a lot as we get later on here into the winter. That's hovered a little bit further off to the north. That pulls even further north as we get later on into the week, and that brings our next system into the area. Now, something we do have to keep an eye on is the track of that system. If it takes a more northerly track, that's when we could see a little bit more of that chance for some mix or some rain Thursday into Friday. A little bit more of a southerly track, that could give us a higher chance for some of that snow to work in. So something to keep an eye on. Definitely not seeing anything particularly confident at the moment, but something we'll keep an eye on toward the end of the week. 42 degrees for tomorrow, 38 for Tuesday, with that slight chance of rain and even snow showers. That bigger chance, though, coming for the middle of the week. Something we'll be keeping an eye on as we trend into the end of next week. Temperatures really not budging a whole lot, though, as we get into the end of next weekend.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
The NFL's oldest rivalry ends in another Packers victory, 28-19. Scott Lever, Reagan Holgate. Scott, a lot to unpack with this one. It was just the battle of the banged-up quarterbacks. You have Justin Fields, who went for a season-high 254 passing yards, and then you had Aaron Rodgers there, who really just didn't do anything special today.
Yeah, that was the focus coming into the game. The two quarterbacks, could they survive through four quarters with their injuries? Both of them did. That shows how much they both wanted to play in this game. But really, it didn't feel like Rodgers, even though the Packers won today, didn't feel like Rodgers owned the Bears today. He was just kind of out here. He did throw one touchdown pass. Justin Fields was a far more dynamic player for three quarters, but in the fourth quarter went the other direction. But all in all, Justin Fields, I thought, played pretty well, but didn't get the job done at the end.
And it really didn't feel like the Packers were even the better team out there. They just capitalized on the Bears' mistakes.
Yeah, the Bears had 3 turnovers to none for the Packers. It's hard to beat any team when the turnover ratio is 3-0. The Bears also had a blocked field goal. They missed an extra point. You just can't do those kinds of things and hope to beat a Green Bay Packers team.
And you talk about that turnover margin, but also the Bears were outscored 18-0 in the fourth quarter. You're not going to win a game when that happens.
Well, this is a very young Bears team, a very inexperienced Bears team. They're playing a ton of backups, some guys who you hardly heard of coming into this game. It's amazing, really, when you think about it, missing 3/4 of their secondary and some other key players like Darnell Mooney, that they were able to hang in there for 3 quarters in this game. So, yeah, I think looking at the big picture, it's just a young team that doesn't know how to finish yet against a veteran team with a veteran quarterback that does.
But even despite all the injuries, this team remains positive. Take a listen.
Overall, we had a chance to do it at the end. A lot of good football from our whole group. I told those guys they did a lot of good things today. You have to find ways to get that done. You have to find ways to close games out. We're excited about these next 4 games to be able to get ourselves in position to do that. We were right in that situation there today.
The win's going to start coming. I thought as an offense we got better today, so I just can't wait till they start coming. They're going to start rolling in here soon, so just got to keep working, keep getting better. I think this was my one of my best games passing-wise. I mean, of course, the stats are going to show that, but I felt really comfortable out there, in the passing game, and just going to keep improving and keep getting better.
What do you guys take away from this game?
Yeah, I just think you look at the, maybe lacking some execution and details there in a couple drives. But yeah, I think we did a good job really, executing on a lot of plays that were there in the run game and in the pass game. But, a lot we can improve on for sure.
This team remaining positive still seems to be a pretty big thing, and even losing to their rivals, they stay that way. And I think it's because they see the bigger picture of what's to come.
Yeah, this is not the Bears' year. For the Packers, it's the opposite. They're still in it to try to get into the playoffs right now. At some point, you feel like it's going to shift perhaps where this rivalry, which the Packers have owned now for decades, might switch to the Bears' side when you look at what Justin Fields did today. So maybe the Bears' day is coming. It's just not here quite yet, Bears fans.
And we'll have more at 9 and 10 from the Packers then, but that's all we have from Soldier Field right now. We'll be right back.
We're into December and the chilly temperatures are here to stay.
Right, we actually had teens over the last couple days. It's not going to be quite so bad as we get into the rest of the week, but we do have to talk about some snow chances. Now that it's getting into December, it's going to be a little bit more common for those chances of snow to come. Not anything looking like on precipitation for our radar at the moment, or our First Warn Interactive Radar. That's on Rockford Auto Glass and More. That's on our website. MyStateline.com is the sponsor of that for Rockford Auto Glass and More. And we're talking about those chances for snow coming in for the middle of the week. Slight chances, at least early on in the week, but our higher chance, we have to depend on that placement of that low pressure system for the middle of the week. If it takes a little bit more of a higher northerly chance, that could bring us some more mix or rain. Southerly chance, that brings us a higher chance for even some snow showers. So something to keep an eye on for the middle of the week, but temperatures really not fluctuating a whole lot, staying in the 30s for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Jordan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 10.